Let's welcome to the show a member of the House Judiciary. He is Congressman Reschenthaler. Great to have you back on, sir.
Liz, thanks for having me on tonight.
I'd like to first get your take on President Trump now weighing in on the news from Attorney General William Barr earlier in the day. Bill Barr saying do not expect a criminal probe of President Obama or Joe Biden to come out of the investigation of the Trump-Russia probe origins. Here's exactly what each said today. Let's listen.
As to President Obama and Vice President Biden, whatever their level of involvement, based on the information I have today, I don't expect Mr. Durham's work will lead to a criminal investigation of either man. Our concern over potential criminality is focused on others.
I have no doubt that they were involved in this hoax, one of the worst things ever to befall this country in terms of political scandal. I have absolutely no doubt that Obama and Biden were involved, and as to whether or not it was criminal, I would think it would be very serious. But I'm going to let the Attorney General make all of those decisions.
Your reaction?
Well, just because AG Barr says there's not going to be any prosecutions or they're not going to pursue actions against President Obama and President Biden doesn't mean that we can't get to the bottom of what President Obama knew and Vice President Biden knew of the investigation. We know that James Comey had a merry band of never-Trumpers at the top echelons of the FBI. We know that they were spying on the Trump organization when he was the nominee for president. That's what I'm really focused on with the Durham report. I simply want to know who knew what and when, because we know that the top echelons of the FBI failed to give defensive briefings to the Trump organization during that election. And we know that they went on a fishing expedition with General Flynn, trying to either catch him in a lie or get dirt on him to get him fired. So we know that much. I'm eagerly awaiting this Durham report.
You know, switching gears, we'd like your take on President Trump firing back at Obama. Obama used a graduation speech to 18 and also another one to 22-year-olds over the weekend to criticize the Trump administration's response to the pandemic, saying, quote, a lot of them are not even pretending to be in charge. Here's the president's take on that. Watch.
Look, he was an incompetent president. That's all I can say. Grossly incompetent. Thank you.
Congressman, your take on this fight?
Well, I think President Obama is trying to do two things. One, he's trying to deflect. It was President Obama who let the strategic national stockpile dwindle to sometimes less than a month's supply of what we needed. It was President Obama who, under his watch, we had tens of thousands of factories moving to China, weakening not only our economy, but also weakening our ability to manufacture what we need here. So President Obama is trying to deflect. On the political side, he's very concerned that President Trump is going to win again. President Trump beat his Secretary of State, of course, Hillary Clinton, and President Trump is going to beat his Vice President, Joe Biden, who coincidentally is staying in a basement, is doing nothing. He's letting Barack Obama fight this fight for him.
You know, what's interesting, too, is, the Democrats are attacking the Trump administration here in the U.S. over the COVID response, but they're silent on what's going on with China, as over 110 countries now support a probe into the COVID-19 outbreak in China. They want to look into how China's potential cover-up and delays blew this out into a global pandemic that killed hundreds of thousands. Congressman, even Russia, India, the entire EU, all 27 countries, say that China blindsided the world. But Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats are saying, oh, this is, questioning China here is just a, quote, just diversion. What's your reaction to this story?
This isn't a diversion at all. We want to, and I'm speaking about the world and House Republicans and Senate Republicans, we want to investigate China. We want to investigate the World Health Organization. But the Democrats will do nothing to stop the investigations on President Trump. But what do we know about China? Well, we know that they lied about this pandemic early on. We know that the World Health Organization went around working hand in glove with the Chinese Communist Party, saying that this wasn't a pandemic, not locking down Wuhan. So I want to see what they did. We know that 95% of these cases are because of China's mishandling.
Congressman, great to have you on. Come back soon.
Thank you, Liz.